that corporations should be our servants, not our masters. And we are not alone in believing that. I mean, even a lot of people who take Rush Limbaugh seriously, they're worried about the same things. It's just that their anger is being channeled into hate and race baiting and picking on poor people. They're worried about food being put on the table. And they're told to blame immigrants and minorities instead of the corporations who are shipping jobs overseas, gutting the unions and stealing their pension funds and taking away their health care. And every time we buy any of those people's products, we are their serfs. Not alone in other people in the world. I'm going out on a limb this time because I don't know my digital issues that well, and you keep bringing me here anyway. But theoretically, it is a good thing that Cuba and Venezuela are giving Microsoft the finger and ditching Windows for open source. Linux. Bush and Cheney announced about a year ago the creation of AFRICOM, African Command. We have a Northern Command of the Army for the Northern Hemisphere, CENTCOM for the Middle East, trying to colonize them, keep them under our corporate thumb. Now, since there's oil in Africa and we want to plunder it before the Chinese or India does, we have to have troops all over Africa. So AFRICOM is created, but one problem. Now it's come out, but only in the foreign press, from where I can find it, is they had to give up on having AFRICOM headquarters in Africa because no African country would let us in to build the thing. Not one. Africa will be governed from Stuttgart, apparently. And then there's people, you know, who were inspired by the so-called spirit of Seattle, the attacks on the G8 and corporations still going on all over the world, people pulling up frankenfood crops in Brazil, India, Scotland, France. In Scotland, Blair tried to prosecute people for pulling up plants under anti-IRA terrorism laws. I don't know what the outcome of that is. But anyway, well, this is an example of the people being inspired to, you know, you look at the big picture, it's pretty damn depressing. But that isn't stopping people from breaking off a piece of the puzzle, taking a piece of the big picture, and fighting smaller, winnable local battles, one by one, brick by brick. Corporations are trying to make everybody's water supply privatized. No more public service, no more sense of community, where thereby they take it over, they lay people off, and they double the price of the water. In Bolivia, that was rioted away, and Bechtel had to flee the country. Uruguay, they knew enough to put it to a vote, and Uruguayans voted no way to privatizing the water. This belongs to the people. Now it's even happened in America, where Stockton, California, and even Atlanta, Georgia, have kicked out the privateers, rolling it back. Ever heard of a little town called Potrero, California? 45 miles out in the desert east of San Diego. Their county commissioners thought it would be a great idea to have Blackwater put up a huge privatized military training base to train mercenaries there to go after illegal immigrants and kill them off Blackwater style and stuff. People responded by recalling all 5 county commissioners who voted yes and throwing Blackwater out of town. Heard of the coalition of Immokalee Workers from Immokalee, Florida, who've gone through all kinds of hell, especially out in the fields where they pick the tomatoes that go into McDonald's burgers, Burger King, and the rest. They rose up without support of any of the big unions in a campaign that only went through college campuses, no corporate media coverage, not even Bill O'Reilly or Glenn Beck to try and bash them out of existence. And sure enough, campuses began kicking Taco Bell out of the quad. Taco Bell agreed to raise the tomato pickers' wages and do business with the coalition of Immokalee Workers. McDonald's didn't even fight when they targeted them next. They just did it. Burger King did fight in the point of hiring spies to go after the organizers,